welcome to Say It with Roz. All right, today I want to talk about something I saw on someone else's channel on YouTube. They were talking about women submitting to their husbands, and there were 4 ladies in this discussion, and only one lady was agreeable with the idea of submitting to her husband. And she was married, and I believe 2 other ladies were unmarried, and 1 other lady was married. So there were 2 married ladies and 2 unmarried ladies. And so one of the married ladies was agreeable, to the idea of submitting to her husband, as according to scripture, biblical scripture. And the other 3, well, 2 were totally against it. And one said that if a woman did submit, it was by her choice, not something that she felt she had to do. She just, chose to do that. Of course, it's always someone's choice. You can do whatever you want to do, you just have to realize there are consequences for doing whatever you want to do. So, but I was really struck by, some of the comments on the line of submitting to your husband doesn't even apply today. That was something, that happened way back in the day, maybe back in the 40s and 50s or in biblical days, but hey, women have been fighting for equality, for years. And, so, but that, I don't agree with that statement, that, because what they're saying is that the Bible doesn't count anymore. The standards that the Bible has set forth don't count anymore, and that women are on the same level as a man, and marriage is a partnership, and women should not, feel like they have to submit to a man, But I think they're missing the point, on what submission really means. They made it sound as if, they would be some servant, servant, to a man, like you're a slave or something, If he says jump, you just ask how high and you jump, you don't have any say in anything, and that's not how it goes, And also, I believe that they're missing the point of the real role of the man, and we're not equal to men, We're just not, God made us different, and we're both, beautiful and necessary in our own, role. And I don't think women come out on the bottom, when they have an attitude of submitting to their husband. I mean, a woman should still be able to voice her opinion to her husband, you know, in a respectful manner, you know, but ultimately it's up to the man whether he follows her advice or not, you know. And if her advice happens to be, you know, the right thing for him to do and he doesn't do it, well, he learns, you know, by his mistakes, you know. It's up to him to make it right or to do something else, you know. Let him lead, you know. I mean, you just have to, you know. It's best to do it that way, I believe. And also, I don't think a man that loves his wife and cherishes his wife and, you know, looks at his wife in the proper way will ask her to do anything, you know, that's subservient or, you know, that's wrong or out of order. He should know his role. You know, you pick a man that knows his role. Now, if you pick old Joe Blow over there who, you know, thinks women are, you know, his step stool, you know, and all she's good for is cooking and washing his clothes and giving him some sex and shutting up, you know, well, that you chose him, you know. So I just think, well, I'll put myself out here in that position. I am married. I don't have a ring on my finger right now because I broke my ring and we haven't gotten another one yet. So, but anyway, I am married. I will be married, let's see, 8 years on the 12th of this month. And today is the 6th. So in a few days, I'll be married 8 years. And I have learned some things because I had been single for over 15 years. And, you know, so, but I have learned that it is best to let the man lead. It's just best. It's just best, you know. A woman has her role, which is a supportive role. It's not to be up there running things, you know, alongside the man, you know. He has his role. He has his role of being the provider, you know, and the protector, you know, and, you know, and he should love you, you know. And the wife has a role of taking care of the home, the children, supporting the man, being there for him as a comfort, you know, when he comes home from a long day of working out in the world, you know, putting up with all kinds of mess. He should come home to a peaceful home. And you should have a meal ready for him. Now, if you both work, which is the case, most people, you know, they're very, you're very lucky if you don't have to work, you know, if you're a wife and you don't have to work. But that's a good thing, you know, because honestly, taking care of a home and a husband and children is a full-time job. you know. So these women that work and then still have to come home and prepare a meal and, you know, be a comfort to the husband and all of that, they have double duty. And that's all the more reason for a man to love you and cherish you, you know. And, you know, and even a man can help in the case of a woman working also. They should both pitch in, you know, and do things to keep the home running smoothly. And, you know, taking care of the children, you know. So, in that respect, it is a partnership, you know, in doing that. But I realize, too, that all men may not do that, but that is on their head, you know, because it really is overload on a woman to have to work and then come home and, you know, take care of the house, keep the house in order, cook a meal, then, you know, take care of hubby, rub his back, you know, make love to him, you know. So, yeah, it's a double duty job, you know. So you're very lucky if you can stay home, you know, and be a housewife. But don't think you can be a housewife and you just sit around, you watching TV all day, eating chocolates, you know. You can't. Baby, believe me, you might want to go to work. Because although I'm not young, I'm retired and everything, but in some respects, I am a housewife because my husband works, you know. But I tell you, you know, it is a full-time job because I have other interests too, you know, things, you know, that I like to do, you know. And so incorporating all of that, it's tough, you know. But back to the submitting thing, you know, I need to give you some examples because I don't think women get it. So let's look at some examples of a woman submitting to her husband. Okay. One example of a wife submitting to her husband, let's just say the husband, you know, has a good job and he's gotten a promotion, you know, and but with the promotion comes a move to a totally different state, you know, and you know, the wife is grounded where she is. Her family is there, her friends, you know, and she doesn't want to move, you know. But the husband has decided that he's going to take the promotion and he's going to move to this different state. And he wants to bring his family along with him. So what are you going to do? You're going to try to talk him out of moving? You're going to tell him you're not moving? You're going to make his life hell because you are moving? I think when it's all said and done, the wife should just realize that she must follow her husband. That's your husband. He's gotten a better position. He's going to be making more money, which means that's a good thing for you. Go with the man. Don't give him hell for breaking you away from your family and your friends. Who's more important? Your husband or your other family and friends. It's really your husband. Other than God, your husband comes next. Then your children. Yes, the children come after the husband. I know that's a hard pill to swallow for some folks. You know, they say, you know, some people, you know, say, you know, their children mean more to them than anything. But if you're married, it shouldn't be like that. It should be your husband, you know. And unless your husband is doing something or trying to make you do something against God, you know, unless it's something really, really, really bad that's really, really against God, then you should follow your husband and be a support to him. Because I'm telling you now, if you don't be a support to him, there are plenty of women out there who will be, you know. When he comes home and he's got to listen to you fussing and fighting, you know, and nagging him to death, you know. There are lots of ladies out there who will welcome him into their little paradise, you know, and talk softly to him and rub his head, you know, and be the support that he needs. They won't be nagging him about anything, you know. And pretty soon, you will start to look very unattractive to that man. So, you really have to just accept the fact that you need to support your husband. And there are very few reasons not to, you know. Like I said, now, if he's asking you to go rob a bank with him, you know, or go kill somebody with him, I think you have a right to say no, you know. And he would not have your best interests in mind anyway if he was asking you to do something like that. So you don't have to, in my opinion now, you don't have to submit to things like that. Now, if he wants you to have him a meal ready every day when he comes home at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or whatever time he gets home, submit and do that. There's nothing wrong with that, cooking your man a meal every day. You know, if you can't cook, hopefully he's making enough money, or at least between the two of you, where if you don't want to cook that day or you're bone tired or something, you can go out and get something, you know, and still have it ready for him when he gets home. Now, I know some men, they don't even want, you know, they want a home cook. Some men, they want a home-cooked meal every day. And if you married that man, you knew he was a country boy when you married him. You know, he wants a home-cooked meal every day. So you got to do it. You got to do it. Because I guarantee you, if you don't do it, he'll find somebody that will. So, okay, let me think of another example. Okay, another example is... say, for instance, your husband, you know, he wants to make love, you know, hey, maybe he wants to make love every night. I don't know, you know. If he wants to make love every night, you know, have sex every night, I think you better do it. Because otherwise, if he really has that kind of drive now, and he's got to have some sex every day, you know, I think it would be to your advantage to give it to him, you know, because otherwise, he might look for it somewhere else. And you don't want that, you know, or, you know, hopefully he'll only want it 3-4 times. But whatever his requirements are, you need to try to, you know, accommodate him. So that, and you may not be in the mood all of the, who's ever in the mood all the time, you know, unless you're, you know, just high to have a really high sex drive or something. I mean, but you got to take care of your spouse. Now, that works both ways, too, now. Now, if you think about it, if you go to the Bible in Corinthians, I think it's 1 Corinthians, where they talk about submitting to you, you know, wives submit to your husbands. But no one hardly ever mentions the verse that says, husbands also submit to your wives. So there's some things that a husband needs to accommodate a wife, you know, as well. You know, you have to accommodate each other. You know, hopefully you knew who each other was before you got married. You know some things about what each other require. So, and you try to do those things. But nothing should really be unreasonable, you know. You don't want to ask your spouse to do unreasonable things, because that's going to be a problem also. So, it's just that when I was listening to these women, they just seemed so adamant that a wife submitting to her husband was like, oh my goodness, that's ancient history. Nobody does that anymore. But, and the interesting thing is that the two women that were really adamant about not submitting to a man, they weren't married, and I don't think they had ever been married. You know, I mean, ladies, the bottom line is that most men, you know, that have any kind of about themselves, you know, integrity, or got something, you know, really going for themselves. You really don't. I mean, any man with any manhood is going to want a woman that supports him. He doesn't need another man by his side. I mean, he's got his buddies to hang out for that, you know. You know, he needs somebody soft and, you know, comfortable and, you know, submissive, you know, to be by his side. And that's our role, you know, because after all, women are to be taken care of, you know, to be protected. So I just would advise the ladies to not have that attitude of, I ain't submitting to no man. What I think and what I say is just as important as what he says and thinks. I got my rights too. Well, lady, I tell you, you might find yourself alone, you know, if you have that kind of attitude. Yeah. Now, me and my husband, you know, I don't have to lay down and let him walk on me. He doesn't try to do that. He loves me. He's not going to do that. If a man loves you, he's not going to treat you like that, you know. And so I just think God has laid out a plan, and I believe that plan works. Now, all of this newfangled stuff, you know, women's rights, which women should have certain rights, yes. If a woman is doing the same job that a man is doing, she should get the same pay. I agree with that wholeheartedly, you know. If she's out there, you know, digging ditches alongside the man, she should get the same pay that man gets for digging that ditch. Or if she's in corporate America and she's doing the same job that a man is doing in that office, she should get the same pay. I agree with that 100%. Yes, I do. So, but still, when it comes to you and your man, things work a little different. And I know you know that. I know you know it. You might not want to accept that, but I know you know it. So, ladies, if you want to really please your man, and I think you need to learn a little submission, you know. And don't be arguing with him too much, you know. Don't be arguing with him too much, you know. I've been guilty of you know, I've been guilty of arguing with my husband, you know. But as a rule, I try not to do that. And I certainly don't nag him. I don't want to nag him, you know. I hold my tongue on a lot of things, you know. Because they have things on their mind, you know. They have troubles. They're thinking about things that we don't even think about, you know, as ladies. So, and you have to understand that too, you know. Sometimes if your husband comes, if he comes home, he's not in a good mood, he don't want to talk to you, and, you know, leave him alone. Just leave him alone, you know, give him something to eat. You know, if he wants it, you know, whatever he wants, you know, give it to him. And go on in there and watch TV somewhere, honey. Do something for yourself. Leave him alone. But anyway, I just, that kind of got, you know, caught my attention. You know, it was just the way they were looking at it. You know, like, no way, no how, you know. But I truly believe they're wrong. So don't let that happen to you now. Don't let it happen to you. Now, I'm not saying you have to let a man mistreat you, you know. I mean, even the Bible says, I believe somewhere, I can't remember the scripture you know, that sometimes it's appropriate, you know, to part from each other, you know, for a while. You know, if things are, I don't know what the circumstance would be, you know, but if someone's treating someone, and you know, especially bad, you know, that's not right on either side. You know, a woman, you know, just like you know, some women treat men terrible. They do. You know, some women talk to their men like they're nothing. You know, I mean, they'll dress that man down, you know. Shit, and hitting, Lord, excuse me. They'll dress that man down like he's nothing, you know, and they'll do it in front of someone, you know, talk about him like he's this tall, you know. And a lot of times, all the man does is hang his head, you know. I mean, which I think is spineless on the man's part, because they shouldn't let a woman talk to them like that. They really shouldn't, you know, especially in front of people, you know. I mean, why would you want to do that to your man? First of all, you're making him look stupid, which makes you look stupid, because you're with this man you're making look stupid. I mean, that's a no-winner there. And sooner or later, that man might walk out on you, you know. Or he sure might have him a little something over there on the side where he can go to, and she's going to rub his head and rub his back and, you know, kiss all on him and make him feel, you know, hey, he's 10 feet tall. So, you women that talk bad to your man, you need to stop it, or you won't have a man, or you will have a piece of a man, because somebody else is going to have that other piece. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not good to do that, you know. I have never, I don't think I've ever done that. I hope not. But I would never talk bad to my husband in front of people, you know. And first of all, my husband is, my husband would not go for that. Mm-mm. And I'm glad he won't. So, don't do that, you know. Even if, now he has embarrassed me. He said something, you know. He was joking, you know, about it. I mean, it wasn't a real big deal. But I didn't say a word, you know. I didn't say a word about it. I just sat there quietly and smiled. Now, what if I had reared all up, you know, and started talking about him and, you know, bringing out all his faults and things in front of folks and all? Honey, we'd have had a problem, okay? Something like that, you might not ever be able to totally erase or get over. So don't do that. Even if your spouse does something, you know, that might hurt, or says something that might hurt your feelings around other people, don't say anything in front of them. Wait until you guys are alone and gently tell him, honey, that really hurt my feelings, you know. I just want you to know that. Now, if he's any kind of man, if he's a good man, he'll apologize to you when he sees that you're really hurt, you know. So now this all comes down to choosing, the right people, to be married to, which we don't always do, I've been married. This is my third marriage, so I know we don't always pick the right people, especially when you're young. So, but there are a lot of people who got married when they were teenagers and they're still married today. And Lord, I love to see that. I really do. That's a blessing. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say today. Ladies, be gentle. Be ladies. Men like that, They don't like all these brash, loud talking, finger pointing women. They really don't, They really, 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 truly don't. Speak softly, And I think you will be rewarded if you do that. So, that's it. Until next time, over and out.